Hi, my name is Becky, Socks for Mom, and I'm back with you to tell you about my 2023 goals and plans, which I hold on to lightly always because there's always things that come up. But this right now is what I am planning on doing. I have a lot of WIPs that I want whipped down, whittled down, as Carol Crago says. And what I did on New Year's Day, a friend of mine taught me into participating in the 12 by 12 New Year's Eve start, but I didn't start. I pulled out 12 WIPs from my massive collection. And these are things that when I just looked through them on my spreadsheet really quickly, really hit me as, oh, I really want to stitch on that. So I spent the day, I started at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I picked 12. And my goal was to stitch 3 threads in each one of them. And I wanted to make new project bags for all of the ones that were the smaller size pattern. So I have those in this basket, and I have my larger ones over here, not larger projects, just in the larger bags, and I'm going to share those with you. I enjoyed that process so much that I just made the decision that I'm going to keep these out, and I'm going to pull them out and work on them till I'm tired of working on it, and then pull another one out. And that I'm just going to focus on those 12 this year. I do have a main focus that I'm going to talk about, and I have another salve that I participate in. I'm going to talk about that. And I have one other thing I started with friends last year that I want to continue on with. So let's start. I made a list. I have Jen's, what does she call this? Quirks and Stitches. I have her digital planner, and I've been using that. And so I went ahead and printed out the 12 things that I wanted to work on. And let's get started with that. So, first thing I pulled that I definitely want to finish because I don't have much left to go is, try to be quiet with all of this, is Briar Rabbit by Lottie Da. And I pulled this French General fabric for it. Really pretty. And I'll make one of those tall skinny bags for it. And let me show you my progress. I don't have much to go with this. Here it is. Let me get the color. It's kind of a grayish color. I believe it's a natural Zweigart. It's on 32 count. And there's some variegated for the bunny, which I don't remember what it is. But all I have left to do are the letters. And then it will be finished and made into a pillow. So that is Briar Rabbit by Lottie Da. Where am I going to put this? I'll just stack them up over here. Okay, what did I stitch on next? I stitched on this. Hold on, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry about that. I sure hoped I pressed the start button last time. The Quaker House samplers. Mine are these exact colors, but a couple friends of mine, we have done a round robin in the past, and we decided to do a round robin with this piece. And I finished mine. Don't know where it is, but I passed mine on, and then the gal that stitched it, Barb, passed it on to Pat. Pat stitched it, sent it to me. Then I finished with the last motif. We each stitched 2 motifs, and I've started this companion piece. And I will show you, I'm working on Pat's right now. Oh, I think I do have my piece. Well, let me show you Pat's. Pat picked some pinks and a green. She sent me fibers to dye for in silk. Show you on her linen. They're really pretty. And they have fun names like Motive, Morbid, Cloak. And this is all I've stitched so far, but I'm working on a motif right over here. And when I'm done with my 2 motifs, I'll send that on to Barb, who's been patiently waiting for it. And now I will show you mine. This is mine all finished. And I used NPI silks. So you'll see Pat's initials, Barb's initials, and my initials. And then I started the one with the 3 houses. So I was able to put 3 threads into that. And once again, here's the pattern. Quaker House Samplers by Carriage House Samplings. I love those. So that was number 2, and I guess I didn't pull any fabric for it. So please bear with me, because it'll be a disaster putting 12 things away if I don't just plop them in now. Not a disaster, but cumbersome. Okay, the next thing I pulled out to work on, and I believe this is some Blackbird design fabric that my friend Katrina sent me, or maybe Barb, I'm not sure, not Barb, Pat. It's very pretty. And this is Shall I Compare Thee? To a Summer's Day. And I'm stitching this right here. I saw I saw Alma's at the retreat I went to last year. I'm drawing a blank on the name of it. In Kansas City. Anyways, it was really, really pretty. I got this as a kit for Christmas, I think, maybe, from my mom a couple years ago. It's an Adam and Eve. It will go on my red wall. And that's what I have so far. And these are all the threads. sampler threads. The red is Pomegranate by Gentle Arts. It's a little pinky, but I think it's still pretty. And that will go, I said, on my red sampler wall. So that Shall I Compare Thee by Blackbird Designs. I may go on my Adam and Eve wall whenever I get that done someday. Okay, the next thing I pulled out was Baltimore Salt Box by Brenda Gervais. I pulled out some French General fabric for it in red, white, and blue, so it will look patriotic. The lighting may be off a little bit. I've got my lamp that I stitch with on. It's super cloudy, rainy outside. And here is what I have so far. I was able to put a couple stitches into it. It's stitched on Mushroom Lugana, so you can see it's 1/1. And I actually have the box for it that I will paint just like the cover. I'll paint it in that, looks like a Wedgwood blue, kind of grayish blue. The thing about this is that the red in it is actually tomato. Wasn't really certain about that, but I actually do like it. And 1/1's fun to stitch. So when I pull that next year, I will make the bag. Next up, I found in a bag, I made a list of WIPs to send to my friend Yvette so she could help me get organized. And I forgot totally about these boxes I have over here, these plastic bins. Let me see if I can show you. See those plastic bins right there? One is Adam and Eve, one is Patriotic, one is Scottish, one is Red House. And those are filled with samplers. Not samplers, but projects. Sorry, kind of lost my light. So, in that box, I found Souvenirs of Summer by Blackbird Designs. And I had started America a while back. And here it is. I had started it in the called for colors, which is mulberry, and it's a little too brown for me. So these two letters are stitched with Gloriana Cranberry. Something's happened to my lighting here. Let me see. If that's any better. It says automatic lock on my focus, so I don't know what that's going to do. So that will be just a one color stitch, and I will enjoy doing that. Shouldn't take too long. And I have, for that, I pulled some more French General fabric. This one. Not patriotic, but red, white, and blue. So when I pull it, I'll make that little bag. Next is something I actually got for Christmas from my husband. It was a Christmas Day present. And there's a cute little story that goes with this. Some people think it's cute, some people think it's appalling. So I had given them a list from the Country Sampler of things I wanted or I'd like to have for Christmas list. And I gave it to him a while back. Well, I really got to hankering. I really wanted to stitch this because I love that mustard house. I love these pumpkins right here. And I had looked everywhere online. I had looked to see if Stacy Nash had a PDF of it. She didn't have one up. I looked all over the place and it was sold out everywhere. So when I went to Denver, I went to the stitching store there and they had several copies. So I jumped on it. I had it in my basket. I was so excited. And my husband called me. We follow each other on Find Friends. My siblings and I do, my parents, my husband, and one of my daughters. And he saw where I was. And so he called me up and he said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm at the cross stitch store." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "You're not buying what I got you for Christmas, are you?" And I said, this was before Christmas. And I said, "Well, I don't know. Did you buy me Butternut House?" And he said, "Well, I don't know, but send me a picture." So I sent him a picture and he said, "That's what I bought you." And I thought he was just joking around because he didn't want me to spend any money. And he went and found the receipt and he sent me the receipt because I just kept saying, "No, you're just telling me that because you don't want me to add to my stash." And he sent me the receipt and sure enough, he got me this. So I was excited. I put it back and I bought the other stuff. So I pulled this Blackbird design fabric for it. It's really yellowy outside. It's changing all my colors. Hold on a second. That's better. I don't know what happened to it. So here are the Blackbird fabric for Butternut House Pinky by Stacy Nash. Lovely. Let me show you what I did because I started it Christmas Eve at 12:01. So I started it on Christmas Day. No, that was something else. No, I started this right after he gave it to me Christmas morning. And I did put some stitches in on New Year's Eve. So I really would like to get this finished next year. It's bigger than a pin keep. It says it's a pin keep and it's pictured as a little pillow, but the finished size is 7.5 by 8 inches high and it's 132 by 142. It's all DMC threads with the exception of Weeks Dye Works charcoal. So pretty. They sent this lovely fabric with it because it was a cute. It's on 36 count Winter Brew, which is a very pretty color. And that will be fun to stitch. So that was my Christmas gift, one of them from hubby. When I pull it, I will make that bag. And then another one I worked on Christmas Eve was something else I bought from Jen's Stitching Niche. She was having a great sale, and I saw Country Sampler had this. Can you see that? Rabbit Hollow Farm by Stacy Nash. So I only ordered some of the colors because I knew I had the colors at home, most of them. From Jen, I ordered Rose Garden and Endive, and I got the straw. So this is 36 count straw, and that is what I have so far. It'll be pinks and greens. It'll be perfect for spring. I'd like to have over my sofa table in the hall, I'd like to have all the Rabbit Hollow, Hollyberry Farm. You know, I'd like to change that out seasonally. I worked this year on, oh, I didn't show that in my last sampler. In my last video. I worked a lot on Christmas at Hollyberry Farm in December, but forgot to show that. So, and the fabric I picked for that, because the colors are pink and greenish. The pink is actually Rose Garden, and the green is Endive. Is this lovely fabric. It's really pretty. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. What would happen if I turn this light off? Turned it down. Anyways, it's pretty. Pinks and browns go perfect with that. Just back up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really out of practice with filming these. Hopefully I'll be better this year. Hopefully. Okay, now my big basket. These are the remaining things I worked on Christmas Eve. The Reverend Gordon Squash Bottom. I did not get him finished in time in October, but really would like to next year. Whoop. So I worked on him Christmas Eve, and he's in one of these little bags that I'll be making all that fabric into. Love him. He doesn't have a whole lot left to go. Something else I would like to finish this year is the Giant Pear. The Rose and the Giant Pear by Hands Across the Sea. Oh, I don't have a picture of this because I bought the PDF. So here it is. It's long and narrow. And that's about how much I got done. I think I started this at the beginning of the year last year, set it aside. So that will be nice to finish up, and I have all DMC for it. And it's in this old Tula Pink bag. Let's see. I started it February 16th with my friend Pat. And we're going to work on that together this year. Try to finish it up. Okay, next is in this bag. This was what I had my birthday start in last year. I believe Christine Hollis bought this fabric for us because we worked on our birthday thing together. This was my birthday start, and her birthday start. She did this at the last minute, and when I saw her do it at the last minute, I said, oh, I need to do that too because I have it and I love it. So my daughter and son-in-law and my 2 grandchildren gave me a gift certificate, an Etsy gift certificate. So I was able to kit this out, and I wanted to use their money on this because it's a autumn fractor, and they're now living in Pennsylvania, where so many of those beautiful autumn fractors come from. So I started this on my birthday, worked on it for about a week and set it aside, and worked on some of those little green waves on New Year's Eve. It's beautiful. I love that. And here are all the colors. So pretty. So that will be fun to get back to, and it does not need a bag. I guess this will just be my birthday bag going forward. And I believe this has really pretty color inside. I believe this is William Morris fabric. And this is the thread keep I made for Christine and I, because that's what we stitched. And the next thing I worked on that I would like to have finished this year, which I'm getting pretty lofty goals, aren't I, is Frederick by Carriage House Samplings. And this is kitted out with all the beautiful silks on whatever this is. I'm not sure what I'm stitching it on. But this is what I have so far. Oh, where's my board? Just love this. The colors give me so much joy when I stitch on it. So that will be fun. See, I pulled out all the things that hit my heart. I'm like, I want to stitch on that. So I'm thinking that will keep me pretty focused this year, because obviously all of them I really want to work on, right? Okay, and this one, this is the 3rd year I've been working on it, so I'm really ready to be done with it. This is in a autumn bag, sunflower, finches, and it is Grateful, Thankful, Blessed by Brenda Gervais. Let me find a picture. I know many of you have seen it. I've seen a lot of people finishing it up this year. Well, can't find the front page. That's a bummer. Oh well, it'll show up. And here it is. And I'm using the call for. And as everyone has said, there's some ghosting on those letters. Actually, I haven't stitched the light letters yet. So there's not ghosting yet, but there will be. I love this piece so much. Love, 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 love it. And I would like it to hang on my colonial wall. That house, there's a lot of stitches in it. And let's see what it's stitched on. I know I used exactly the called fors. Which, you know, I'll tell you what. When I got all these colors together, I was like, that's really peachy orangey. But it's so pretty. So just trust the designer, right? It's Wren. It's a 36 count piece of Wren. So that's Grateful, Thankful, Blessed. And these seasonal things that I pulled out, I'll work on more in the season, I think. And the last one I worked on New Year's Eve was Mary Clayton by Hands Across the Sea. Here she is. She was the first Hands Across the Sea pattern I bought. And I have the silks for her and some DMC. I don't mind mixing silk and cotton. And this is a really pretty Tula Pink bag that I made a long time ago. And here she is. So I think on New Year's Eve, I worked on that fence and some of the grass underneath the house. And I'm not sure what this is stitched on. I doubt seriously if it's stitched on the called for. Let me see what they called for. So I'm using a Veriswa. And I don't know what I'm stitching it on. It's old. I probably started it 3 years ago, so I'm ready to finish her. So those are the things that I worked on New Year's Eve. All day long, cut fabric and put 3 stitches into each of these. And I'm really pumped up about it. I can't wait to start pulling them out and working on them. So I've had a couple starts that I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you my real big focuses. The first one is in this French General bag, and it's, I started it in October for Yvette's birthday when I saw that Christy and Olivia were stitching this with her. I contacted Yvette and asked her if I could join, and she's like, of course you can. So the 4 of us are working on this. Olivia and I are doing it in DMC. Christy and Yvette are doing theirs in silks. 3 of us have bee's knees, and 1 of us is using a lighter color. And I will show you what I have so far. This is Seraphim Fabric Bee's Knees. We are saying we will finish it in a year. We're moving along though. Yvette's keeping us hopping. Let me get this behind it. we're moving down, so we're not going to be hit with a huge pasture all at once. Like this little rooster. This is very pretty. This flower was no joke. Took a long time. So our next assignment that we're doing is we moved across, and I've started. We have decided, or Yvette's decided, and she's told us, fine with me, I need instructions. We're going to work the tree with Adam and Eve. So I love this project so much. This had been, I bought this a while back when it came out, and every year since then I've looked at it and wanted to start it and wouldn't let myself start it because of all the other things that I had going. And I finally had a little talking to myself, and I said, I've told y'all this before, if I could only stitch for a few more years, what would I want to see on my walls? And this was one of them. It beat hands down over a whole bunch of others that I was slogging through. So I'm super excited we're doing this. It's so much fun to be able to chit chat with them, and hopefully we'll get some Zoom sessions in this year and be able to stitch on her that way together, or FaceTime video or something like that. So she is my main focus. I will be working on her every day, probably, since we're doing the big tree. Should I finish my assignment early, I will go to my list of WIPs and I will pick another extra large, because I have 5 extra larges, and I'll work on that until the next assignment. Okay, something else I would like to see finished that's been lingering around for a bit is Miss Ann Morrison. I got bogged down in the eyelet section, so I've completed this and I've completed this, and now I'm right in the middle working. I'm not going to take this off. This is my millennial frame. I keep laying down that whiteboard and losing it. It shows through when I hold it up because there's a window behind me. But here she is. So pretty. And started the eyelets in that light blue. I don't know what you can see. I'm just going to do this. Yeah. She's very pretty. And I'm stitching her with all the silks. This was a stitch along a few years ago with traditional stitches, I believe. And I'm pulling up the rear. So I'm keeping her out on my millennial frame so that I can put in stitches here and there whenever I'm in the mood to work on an eyelet. That mood comes a lot, you know. I'm being facetious. I am stitching her on with all the 103 Averiswas on the spools. Found this nifty little thing at Michael's. Up at the front they have these, and spools fit in them perfect. Okay, and now I will talk to you about my 2 new starts. Let me put some of this away and I will go get them and be right back. Came back with more. Okay, let's see. Last spring, a couple of my girlfriends and I got together. They came over and we had a sleepover. We had finished Though He Seemeth Sleeping by Becky Norton. And I pulled another pattern, asked them if they wanted to join me. I didn't have to twist their leg too much because they both love it. And it is called the Sweet Temper Sampler. So we got together and started this. The verse says, "Let your temper be as sweet as the daisies at your feet. Be as gentle, be as mild, be a modest, humble child." Mary Pill. Now this is not a reproduction sampler. This is just a sampler that Teresa made up. And being Kitten Stitcher, the border is very quirky and a lot of fun to stitch. And this is what I have so far. So when my Elizabeth Furnace homework is done each month, I will pull this one out to work on because I want to see progress on it. It is a big girl. She's not densely packed, so I'm thinking, you know, it won't be too bad. But I think she's like 301 by 297. And I'm stitching mine on a 40 count something I can't even remember. And another fun thing about this is that some friends of mine in Denver, we did a floss tag exchange. And I think it was Judy, my friend Judy, happened to send me some of these, which may have influenced me picking this out now that I think about it. Anyways, it's Mary Pill. So I have all my DMC on this. Cool. But I love this and I will enjoy working on that when my homework is done on Lizzie Furnace. The Sweet Temper Sampler. And on Friday, the group that I have stitched with, that we pick things out together and then we each take turns leading. So far we have stitched ES Spot, Dutch Birds, the Noel Sampler, and now this one is, we all voted on Rosewood Manor, Winter Rose Manor, which I was thrilled about because I started this when it came out. So I have a little bit of a start on it already. I changed my linen. I started out on the Brenda's Brew and changed this to Confederate Gray, I think. Where's my board? I'm telling you, I'm out of practice. Oh, well, here it be. It's all wrinkled. But you will see this as I progress on it. I have tried 3 colors on the house. And I think I'm going to stick with conch. Which is this one right here. I've tried Perfect Pie Crust, and I've tried Country Lane. The reds in this are Cayenne by Gentle Art and Used Brick. So we are actually going to be starting up here in the left. Up here. So I had to extend a vine across from where I was and up, so I would be all ready to start right there. So I'm stitching this with Karen, Florida, Pat and Teresa in Chicago, Katrina in Denver, and me. So that'll be fun. And I have the bag that Brenda Gervais, she was selling this little kit. So I made that. I actually started this with Christine and made her a bag, I think. But I'm not sure she ever finished. I think Christine, did you finish? You may have. Christine tends to just plow through things and get focused and get them done, whereas I'm all over the place. Okay, but that group will help me finish this. Now, last but not least are my two new starts. Let me get this picture. On New Year's Day, I started Flag Folk. With my friend, Pat, who stitches a Patriotic every year, so she's got a beautiful Patriotic wall. I started it on 36 count, Picture This Plus Wren. And I have that center tree. The green is Bullfrog. The red is Ruby Slipper. And when I put this on Instagram, I'll post my other colors. So I started Flag Folk. And the other thing I started, because I finished the Village of Hawk Run Hollow this year, which looks absolutely spectacular. I showed pictures, I think, when I finished it. And I worked on that every Friday night for Friday night at Hawk Run Hollow. And when I finish that, every Friday comes around and I'm like, man, I want to stitch a Hawk Run Hollow. I need a Hawk Run Hollow in my life, because I was just in the habit after 3 years of stitching on it every Friday night. So when a couple friends were talking about how they were starting it, but they were only going to be doing 3 blocks this year, I said, oh, I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it too. But I will be stitching on Friday nights. So if anybody wants to join me, that would be great. I love getting on the group, Let's All Move to Hawk Run Hollow, and sharing my progress and just the camaraderie of stitching on a Friday night, going to Hawk Run Hollow. So here is houses. I have just about all of the Hawk Runs. And now my Hawk Run is hanging at the end of my hall. In our house, we have the master bedroom on one side, the living area and the kitchen and the TV room in the middle. And on the other side are 3 bedrooms. One's my craft room, one's my husband's study, and one's a guest room. So when I walk down that hall, I have it hanging at the hall so I can look at it every time I come on this side of the house, which is many times a day. So here's houses. I actually started this with my friend Barb. We started it together. She finished hers. I wasn't happy because I figured out once I was doing 36 count. I didn't know if I wanted to do 1 thread or 2 threads. It's going back and forth on that. And then I found out I only had like 1/2 inch border fabric down here. And that was the kiss of death. After that, I was over it. And I focused on my Village of Hawk Run Hollow. So I started this over. And I started it on Dusty Seraphim. Dusty Robe by Seraphim Fibers. These are the colors for the first block. And I basically, all I have is, I'm working on the block. So over the next couple Fridays, I plan to stitch the border all the way around and stitch that fun grass down there at the bottom. So I have a hawk run in my life again, and I'm super happy about that. Well, I'm tired now just talking about all my plans. I hold on to them lightly. I don't know how I will do, but my word of the year is steadfast. So I'm going to be steadfast moving forward. And I'm really happy that I picked 12 WIPs that I would like to get finished instead of the number I have, which I'm not really comfortable even saying that number out loud at this point. But I had to add about 10 to my list because I found some, as I told you. So that is it. I've got plans. I know you have plans too. I love this time of year, watching FlossTube and seeing everyone's plans. This is my focus board behind me of things I'm working on this month. And let's do it. Let's have a great, fantastic 2023. Let's look for joy everywhere. Let's find joy in the little things, and try to turn those negative things into something positive. So that's my goal, and I hope you'll think about doing that too. Thanks for sticking with me, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.